Vanakkam friends, welcome to my channel Trinity Cultural Academy. Dear friends, this presentation is on plant pathology and the topic for discussion today is the plant disease epidemiology. And this topic is highly useful for all the competitive exams being conducted by the TNPSC, Tamil Nadu Public Service Commissions, and the ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, and highly useful for the fresh graduates who are appearing for this competitive examination. Not only fresh graduates, for all the graduates and who are interested and aspiring for the different positions in central as well as state government. Coming to the subject, the epidemiology is the study of the outbreak of diseases, its course, intensity, cause and effects, and the various factors governing the epidemiology. And based upon the occurrence and geographical distribution, and the plant diseases are classified as endemic or Enphytotic. And this means when the disease is more or less constantly occurring year after year in a moderate to severe form in the country or locality, then it is called as endemic diseases. And the best examples are what disease of potato is endemic in Darjeeling, citrus canker, Xanthomonas in Asia, and sorghum rust, the Puccinia purpurea, are endemic. And the next one is epidemic or epiphytotic. It is the sudden outbreak of disease periodically over a widespread area in a devastatingly severe form, causing severe causes or complete destruction of the crop. And this is because of the occurrence of a very favorable environment responsible for the rapid development of the disease. The classical examples are wheat stem rust, the Puccinia graminis triticale, powdery mildew, Erysife graminis variety triticale, late blight of potato, Phytophthora infestans, red rot of sugarcane, Colitotrichum falcatum, downy mildew of grape vine, Plasmophora viticola, rice blast, Pyricularia oryzae. And certain diseases are endemic in one area and that become epidemic in another area. And the examples for this type of diseases are citrus canker is endemic in Asia but epidemic in the introduced place of Florida, that is in United States of America. Downy mildew of corn is endemic diseases in India but become the epidemic in the Philippines. The third type of disease is pandemic. When the epidemic disease spreads over a continent or subcontinent and involves mass mortality, it is considered as pandemic. The examples are the outbreak of black stem rust of wheat in India during 1947 is the best example for the pandemic diseases. And the fourth classification is sporadic. Diseases which are at irregular intervals over limited areas or locations are called sporadic. And they occur relatively in few instances. The examples are fusarium wilt of cotton, Fusarium oxysporium, Vasi infectum, the grain smut of sorghum, Sporosporium sorghai, and the loose smut of the wheat, Stylago nuda. An epidemic may cause widespread and mass destruction of crop in a short time or may persist in long periods depending upon the three following major factors responsible for this type of diseases, and they are the host, pathogen, and environment. And here I depicted the flow chart how the host, pathogen, and environment are interrelated and interdependent that increase the intensity of the plant diseases. Now we take the first factor, the pathogen. A course of epidemic in nature differs with the nature of the host. Depending upon the host, the disease is whether it is epidemic and how it differs. The pathogen and environment. These three factors interplays a major role in deciding the type of pathogen diseases. In Aricanet, the Coliroga fungus, the Phytophthora aricae, become destructive during monsoon period, that is during July and September, and wanes away with rising temperature and dry conditions. The above disease once again become destructive during rainy season. This type of epidemic is known as the seasonal epidemic or annual epidemic. The second example, the outbreak of Phytophthora wilt of beetle vine occurs during the rainy season in South India. In temperate zone, peach leaf curl and apple scab follow the similar course. The epidemics caused as a result of introduction of new pathogens in the locality and that appear in two phases, that is the destructive phase and innocent phase. The examples are the well-known epidemics of late blight of potato in Europe and blast disease of rice in South Asia, powdery mildew and downy mildew of grape vine in Europe, leaf rust of coffee in Sri Lanka, and anthracnose of grapevine in India are examples of this category. The factors which are governing epidemic essential conditions for an epidemic. A disease is sometimes sporadic and assumes epidemic proportions under special circumstances. The factors governing the epidemics can be grouped under three heads, namely the nature of host, nature of pathogen, and environment. An epidemic can only result from the cumulative effects of all the three factors mentioned above acting simultaneously. That is the cumulative effect. Few pathogens are capable of assuming epiphytotic conditions while others are sporadic. The former group consists of late blight of potato, the epiphytic condition, blast of rice, downy mildew of diseases and rest diseases. And how the host, pathogens, and environment are interrelated or the presented or featured in this table. Suppose the host is susceptible, and aggregation and distribution of susceptible host, introduction of new host, introduction of new collateral and alternative pathogens are the conducive factors for the disease outbreak. In the case of pathogens, introduction of a new pathogen, presence of aggressive strain of the pathogen, high birth rate of the pathogen, low death rate of the pathogen, these are the main conditions by which the disease outbreak is very, very high. The environment. which are influencing the disease outbreaks are the temperature, moisture and humidity, rainfall, and light and shade. These three factors interdependent each other, that depending upon that the disease intensity will be there. Now we can see the host factors. What are all the host factors that I discussed in the table itself? The susceptibility of host, and the best examples are late maturing varieties of groundnut are more susceptible to early leaf spot, that is Cercospora arachidicola, and late leaf spot than the early maturing varieties. So late maturing varieties are susceptible to both the leaf spot. Similarly, late maturing varieties of wheat are susceptible to loose mud than early maturing varieties. And the next example is early sown sugarcane. Varieties of sugarcane are susceptible to leaf rust in Deccan canals in Bombay area than in the late sown varieties. Wheat plant becomes susceptible to black rust Puccinia graminis at the boot stage, but it is resistant when the plants are young. Susceptibility of rice plants to blast disease Pyricularia oryzae increases with the application of heavy doses of nitrogenous fertilizers. And the next example, cotton plants are susceptible to fusarium wilt at soil temperature of 26 to 28 degrees Celsius. Brinjal and similarly susceptible to verticillium wilt at 20 degrees Celsius. The next factor, the next conditions in the host plant, aggregation and distribution of susceptible hosts. Abundance of the susceptible host in an area is the major cause, as well as the continuous cultivation of the susceptible variety, and these conditions increases the pathogen rate of multiplication and repeats the disease life cycle in a shorter span of period. The examples are wheat cultivation in USA and Canada and rice cultivation area in East Asian are exposed to greater danger of epidemics by wheat black rust and rice blast respectively. In the case of groundnut, destructive epidemic of early and late leaf spots in Bombay area, that is the Gujarat and Maharashtra states during 1912 to 1913, was mainly the result of cultivation of local cultivars, local varieties in a larger area. The next example, banana wilt, Fusarium oxysporum vasi infectum, and that is susceptible table variety to sown in banana, as susceptible table variety to sun in banana was responsible for the destructive epidemic in parts of Bombay area, that is Gujarat and Maharashtra during 1936 to 1940. Countrywide cultivation of red rot susceptible sugarcane varieties, local varieties like Pandya, Kajaria, practically made their cultivation impossible in Bombay area. Then introduction of new host examples. Introduction of an exotic cotton variety C4 Cambodia cotton caused outbreak of bacterial blight, Xanthomonas axonopodis, Malvacearium, and grey mildew, and local variety Devaraj grown in Maharashtra area in India. and the Devaraj is the C4 Cambodia cotton variety. Introduction of new collateral and alternative hosts. Alternate hosts are those plants on which the heterogeneous pathogens pass part of their life cycle. Similarly, collateral hosts are some kind of wild plants in which pathogen survives when primary host is not available. These two hosts are important in building up the primary inoculations and determine the course and intensity of the epidemic. The examples are grass hosts, that colostral hosts of Sclerospora saccari, Sclerospora philippinensis, both are downy mildew of sugarcane, and Pyricularia vorace, that's a rice blast, Ustilaca Sintamina, that sugarcane cement, may produce abundant inoculum which aid in building up the epidemics. Outbreak of heterogeneous, the blister rest of pine in Europe and the USA happened due to import and introduction of Pinus strobus from USA. With this, I am completing my presentation. Dear friends, kindly subscribe my YouTube channel if you have not subscribed so far, so that you can get the upcoming videos very easily. Kindly like my presentation, do comment on this presentation and share this presentation to your friends as well as your WhatsApp groups. Thank you very much for listening.